Cheshire, the beautiful countryside, the jewel of the northwest, the perfect place to come and relax.
Not when we're in town.
The red lights are on, away we go then, we're racing again at Oulton Park.
Everybody ready?
Lights out, here we go.
We're racing.
We're fast.
Oh, and Muller's hit Plato! Muller has hit Plato! Oh no, teammates hit each other. Oh, there's contact again. Smith getting his own back.
We're live.
And there's another one! Into the barrier. Oh dear, the camera gets hit as well.
And we're ready to bring your weekend alive. It's Oulton Park 2015.
After all the excitement at Thruxton, where Adam Morgan's Mercedes was the winner of race 3, the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship moves to Oulton Park, and BTCC Extra this week has a look at some of the stories from 3 further dramatic races here in Cheshire. And as ever, to discuss it with me is Paul O'Neill. And one of the talking points, I suppose, this weekend has been the fact that overtaking hasn't been that easy, has it?
No, it's not great, is it? And we thought that going back to this circuit in particular would open it up at the hairpin a bit. It's been difficult, but I still think people are giving this circuit too much of a hard time. The cars are wider now, and people don't want to bump and bore, but it's just get on with it, you know. It's still a great track to drive. The drivers love it. They'd be gutted if they didn't come here.
2 stellar drives by Jason Plato, one of which, significantly, was a win with 75 kilos of weight on board, which nobody thought was going to be possible.
I remember Tim at the start of the year saying, you will not see a car that's going to win with all that ballast, and I agreed with him. I didn't think it had happened, but what a team leader he is now. He is the man, isn't he, in that team? That will have destroyed Aaron Smith and Colin Turkington, I'm sure of it. So you're going to see bigger and better things, I think, from Jason, because now all the team, you see the mechanics, they look up to him. So he's got them in the back pocket, and it's what you want as a driver.
Other people that have had good results this weekend, of course, include Sam Tordoff, who took a victory in the final race. Sparrow thought as well for Tom Ingram. He got 3 good finishes out of the 3 races. We caught up with him at the end of the day. Tom, an important weekend in a sense, this, because it's the home race for Speedworks. Your team, how's it gone?
Yeah, okay, actually. Although our results unfortunately don't quite reflect how certainly our Saturday went, it's I still think it's been a fairly positive weekend. We've had three finishes. Ideally, we'd like to all be a little bit better on, but we finished 8th, 11th, and 9th. So, yeah, like I say, a tough weekend, but a weekend that we've picked up a fair amount of points, and most importantly, no DNFs.
Race 1 was good in terms of the finishing position, but the downside seemed to be that because you were mired in traffic, you couldn't get the lap time in that you needed for race 2. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of the downside that we've had with this with the new regulation for this year. But yeah, we were caught up in traffic and unfortunately just couldn't put a lap time in. And I think everyone had kind of seen what Jason had done at Thruxton and thought, we'll try and back to get a bit of space. And yeah, it kind of backed everything back. And unfortunately, it then meant I had to defend from Tordoff, and it just meant very, very messy for the next few laps. And unfortunately, it just meant that we just couldn't put a lap time in, which meant that we were near enough starting back in Chester by the time we came for race 2.
And then race 3, every time we looked, you seemed to be doing something, whether it was fighting back or being overtaken. But you had a bit of a dust-up with Rob Austin at one point.
Yeah, we spent most of it on the grass, it seemed, at the start, at the middle way through. But as stupid as it sounds, it's actually quite good fun when they're like that, when it's just when you're kind of battling back and that red mist descends when you kind of go, right, we're coming for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's I quite enjoy them, if truth be told. But yeah, we fired the soft tyres on for the 3rd race. We didn't really know how it was gonna pan out for us, but they seem to have stayed, really, really consistent all the way through the race, and that's certainly where we've the new car that we've sorted for this year has really, really helped us out, because that was certainly our downside from last year.
What are the frustrations for a driver, though, around here? Because it does seem still that even with the different configuration of the circuit, it's a bit narrow for overtaking. It's not as easy as a Donington or a Silverstone National Circuit, for example.
No, it's not. It is a driver's circuit though, and I think that's what why all the drivers love coming here. It's certainly improved at having the hairpin back, so we're now using the island hairpin. I think that's helped. It's definitely helped the racing. I think everyone would agree that the racing's definitely been better for it. Yeah, it is difficult with there isn't a lot of space, and you see it that if cars are going past, it does normally end up with someone rubbing door handles with somebody else. So that seems to be the way it works around here. But certainly from a driver's point of view, it is an absolutely awesome circuit, and I think like I say, I think most of the guys up and down the grid will all agree that it's probably one of our favourites that we come to.
And now to Croft, and that's not got a huge amount of room either, and there are some really ballsy bits of that circuit as well. Is that another one you're looking forward to?
I love Croft. I absolutely love the place. I really, really love it. I remember when I was doing the Ginettas 2013, we had a massive win, and it's somewhere I've always gelled with. I've always gone really, really well there. I don't know what it is, but I love the place. Really, really get on well there. So, yeah, we're kind of we're hopefully now we've kind of got a bit of a handle on the car, and we've managed to get, I think we're hoping to get a little bit of testing in, that we're starting now to break down these. Break down into the top 10 and actually be consistently into there, not just as a bit of a one-hit wonder. And that's what we've really got to focus on moving forwards, is the fact we've just got to stay in there, and we've got to keep pushing and keep developing this till we can start consistently getting then onto the podium as well.
Joe Prio, wife of Andy, I've caught you right in the midst of emotions, haven't I? It's
actually.
Race 2 has just happened, and he's had a bit of a misdemeanor, isn't he? Nightmare.
With his teammate, and Rob is such a lovely guy, and I know I've seen Andy and he's distraught. Actually, the worst I've ever seen him in many years. Really horrible.
Does that sum up having a husband who races cars?
Yeah, I mean, every day and every weekend is different. I mean, we can go into a weekend and be really happy, and then we can go into a weekend and be really sad. I know he'll come away with this one with a bit of a sad face, I'll be honest. Awful to see him like that. I hate it. I'm in for trouble tonight, I think.
Well, we'll see how he is afterwards. We both haven't seen him yet. It's just finished.
No.
What about British touring cars in general? I remember racing against Andy back in the day. I can't believe how long ago it was. He still looks so young. Is he really happy to be back? He looks it.
He really is happy to be back. I mean, it's at home circuits, he loves them. It's just the feeling that you get from all the spectators and the fans. They're great. He loves it. I know he won't be tonight, but I'm sure he'll hopefully go on to the next weekend at Croft, and it'll be a lot of better story.
What about with the family now? Was it difficult to? You've got 3 young kids. Sorry, got 2.
I've got a son of 14 and a daughter of 11. Yeah, over the years it's been pretty hard. I've wanted to follow Andy, taking the kids wherever I could. My mum and dad and Andy's mum and dad have been great, looked after them when I couldn't always take them. But it's been a journey we've all done together, and I'm glad I've done it, because otherwise I never would have seen him. He's been away a lot. One year it was 252 days we counted he was away in a year. So I need 2 husbands.
Anyway, it has been a bit of a story with yourself and Andy, because I remember I've heard all sorts of little things where you've had to live in a caravan when you've been working at Silverstone, and because you both have been in motorsport, haven't you? And you've had to work together at it.
Yeah, we met in Guernsey. I met him, we're going back to 1992 now. I met him, and then we moved over in 97. He said to me, I really want to go racing. I said, well, I'll come. I gave up my job. I was in a bank and an estate agency, and I went to work at Silverstone for £4 an hour selling tickets for the Grand Prix. But my summer job ran out, and I had to go and look for jobs elsewhere. But the BRDC gave me a call. They were upstairs. They said, Joe, come up, we've got a job for you. And I never looked back, because every circuit Andy was racing in Formula 3, I was working. So I was able to have a room for accommodations. We didn't have to pay for that.
How proud are you yourself about what he's achieved in motorsport? Triple world champion. How much do the kids actually remember of what he's done, or does he now think he's got to prove now while they can remember?
Well, do you know what? I mean, yeah, the kids don't remember a lot of the big winning days. I mean, really 2007 was the ultimate last big win for him. And, you know, to see him go through that, he worked tirelessly so hard. And I look at him today, and he's ever so best. He's driving at his best. But it's difficult now, I think, for him. And he would like one more championship, but I know it's hard out there. Everyone's good, you know, and as you get older, it does get a bit more difficult.
Yeah, and British touring cars has definitely moved on, hasn't it, since he was in it? But, you know, he's still as good as I remember him for sure. But the last story I'm going to ask you about is a great thing that I've heard that you guys do, and it's a charity, and it involves your daughter, doesn't it?
It Well, it does, my daughter. Yeah, my son was born first premature, and he was born at £3.14 in Northampton. But then when I moved to Guernsey, I had Daniela, and she was born prem. And I thought, oh, the Guernsey, because we're from Guernsey, and I thought I'm going to help them out here. So I've just been raising money ever since. And my charity got an award last week from the Queen, and I got like an MBE for a charity. So I was so shocked about having that. It was amazing. But we've got a campaign now. We're going to try and buy a new property in Southampton, and it's buy a brick. So every brick's £5, and you get your name on the wall in the new property. So I'm hoping that will pick up. 30,000 bricks I've got to sell.
I'm sure you'll be fine. There's 40,000 people here today, so you could go around, get Andy to go around.
I should do that now. I think he should be looking for a job now.
And Andy is involved in it heavily as well.
Yes, I mean, he really helps me out because of his profile. Everybody, when we do a function, they like him there. So he really helps me for that bit. But behind the scenes, I'm 24/7 voluntary. I don't get paid, and I just work and work. But he thinks he's lost a PA now because I'm working more on the charity than his work. So I get told off sometimes.
I'm sure it'll all be good. But listen, good luck to yourself and the charity. Thanks for talking to us, and I'm sure Andy is going to be spot on when he comes back later.
I hope so. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
It was a win for BMW in the final race of the weekend here at Oulton Park. But more important than that, they've made it into Crash of the Week.
The Toyota comes into Island Bend. He'll need to get out of the way of the race leaders. Shedden is closed, but Priaulx makes contact with Collard. Broken suspension. Broken suspension for Rod Collard at the hairpin.
One of the golden rules of motor racing is that no matter what else you do, you don't take off your teammate, do you? Nobody told that to Andy Priaulx. Race 2, up alongside teammate Rob Collard. What happened?
He just tried to take me out, simple as that.
Hook reverse gear, did he? Got into you?
Yeah, everything he possibly could do to try and wipe me out, he did. Yeah, it's disappointing.
That sounds entirely plausible. Now let's have the case for the prosecution conducted by Paul O'Neill.
Well, Rob, I've just seen you sniggering at those comments, mate. It was a serious matter, but at the same time, it's great to have you two guys back together and, having a bit of a giggle, but it wasn't so funny at start, was it?
No, it wasn't, but have you met my disillusion? This guy he just doesn't know reality, does he?
This guy's a great guy, and I shouldn't have done what I did. I tried too hard, and it was a stupid thing to do, and I'm sorry, mate.
Thank
All
you. No, it's
great
happened,
guy, so.
but I'm going to claim on his insurance. So where's a blame, there's a claim.
We just need Harry Hill now to start fight, don't we? And I definitely know my money will be on you, mate, because Plato told me you punch a mean dig, don't you, mate?
Oh yes, that was many years ago with me and Jay, but he's never forgotten that. So it was worth it was worth doing.
So we're going to call it quits there, fellas. You're professional enough, aren't you? You've got big sponsors. It's a great team. Thanks for that tipper. The old mechanic there at the back, that was really loud. But that's the way it is, isn't it?
I'm not forgetting anything. I'm an elephant. This is coming back to me later in the year where we were at the bar in a restaurant. He owes me a big one.
I said I owe him a few drinks or a nice meal. He said, yeah, that's in Monaco, mate. That's where it's happening. So, no, I'm going to take him out, calm him down, and we'll be fine.
What, again, take him out?
Yeah. This is going to be like Days of Thunder in the car park on the way out, so
yeah.
I would clear the road. We're going to be having each other all the way out of here.
Oh, good work. Well, fellas, it's nice to see you smiling, and let's hope it doesn't happen again.
As always at Oulton Park, plenty of drama and incident. Let's have a look at the best bits of our trip to Cheshire.
Help me, I've fallen on the inside. I try to medicals always seem to eat my soul.
Earlier today, Jason Plato won 2 of the 3 races, even with maximum ballast, so I caught up with Alan Cole to see what it was all about. Alan, you must be made up with this weekend, but especially Jason Plato. He's been a star, hasn't he?
He is. There's something about this circuit that just clicks with him. He loves it. He's proved that every session. He was quickest in the first 2 races. Okay, reverse grid. Otherwise, he'd been on the top of the tree every single session. So what can you say? Guy's brilliant.
Did you think he would win that second race with all that ballast? Did Jason think? Did he say to you, I might just let Gordon through? What was the the conversation?
He knew what he had to do. He had to control the race, which he's obviously very experienced at, and he just controlled the pace. A bit close at the end, but he said he had it covered. I believe him.
You have to take it from the horse's mouth, I suppose, don't you?
Yeah.
What about Colin and Aaron? Those guys are super fast. And what did they take from the data after this weekend?
That Jason's got a trick here that they're trying to find. And with all the onboard camera stuff, they're looking at it, they're trawling through. It's the second sector, somewhere he has a trick, and they're trying to find it. Obviously, he's not going to tell them. It's up to them to find it.
Well, he's always been like that, and that's why he's successful as he is. Sector 2, so that's Cascades into the hairpin, and a bit of Knickerbrook chicane before you get to Clay Hill. I've still got it, haven't I?
You still got it. You do know where you're going, at least. Yeah.
What do you think the trick is? Is he just carrying more momentum through? I mean, they've had all weekend to suss it out, and it still doesn't look like they have.
No, they haven't. I have no idea what the trick is. I'd love to know myself, but I'm not going to ask him because he won't tell me either, in case I tell the others.
What's most impressive about Jason Plato? I mean, for me, he now is a team leader. The mechanics just look like they are made up for him, and he looks like he's got the whole team behind him.
He's got the whole team, but all the other drivers have the whole team behind them. He is just a good, great character. He's one of these people that when he walks in the room, he holds court. He's just really nice to be around. And guys enjoy working for him.
What do you think is going to happen now as the season progresses? Are we going to get people asking to pass other drivers? Is that something you're going to say, no, you do this? I mean, is it fully open?
At the start of the season, obviously, with the quality of the drivers that we have, we had a discussion with them all, and they're free to race for the whole season. They're there for themselves. If at one point at the end of the season one can win and one can't, that's their decision if they let the other one through. But we will not ask them to. If they're there to race, that's what British Touring Car is about.
Do you think the title's on for one of them?
All three of them.
Still?
Yeah. We looked at today, the weekend Jason's had. Why anyone can have that, Aaron could have it at Crofts and he'll bounce up the front. So could Colin.
Is Warren Scott, who is obviously funding quite a lot of this, is he, one, happy? I'm sure he is, but two, he must be over the moon. Do you think he has a favourite?
I don't think he does. I think he just wants the team to do well. He's a very genuine man, very honest man, and he always said he wants Team BMR to do well, and that's any one of the four drivers.
We're very lucky, aren't we, in the BTCC to have somebody like that, and wouldn't it be great for him to be on the podium or have a win? Is it possible? He's fast enough sometimes, isn't he?
Well, he was quicker than Aaron and Colin in that last race. Have you not noticed the times?
Oh no, I didn't.
He can do it, but it's confidence. It's confidence, and you ask any of the guys that are new to the championship or in their second, third year, it's the confidence. And once he gets that, he'll be there. He loves Silverstone. He's very confident around there. You never know, he could be on the podium there.
Top work, we hope so. But thank you for speaking to us, Alan.
No problem.
Cast your mind back 12 months. Colin Turkington won 2 races here, got into the lead of the championship, and was never headed. Are we going to have history repeating with Jason Plato after his 2 wins here, do you think?
I don't know. It looks very Turkington-esque, does it, as we head on to Croft? I don't know, actually. I think he's going to be strong at Croft. The car will be strong. It's going to be strong anywhere, as it's shown over the course of the year. But I don't know, I don't think it's all about wins either. You look at Jordan. He hasn't won a race yet, and he's right up there. I mean, what do you reckon?
I still think that if you can win with 75 kilos of weight on board here, where the weight is a real handicap, you can win anywhere. And I suspect if I were another team principal this evening, I'd be sitting with a pretty heavy heart thinking we've got a real fight on our hands. You can imagine, can't you, after Croft, where there's that big gap before we go to Snetterton, that they'll be working hard, teams, and try to squeeze in a bit of testing if they can and seeing what they can do, because if the Volkswagens work so well with the weight, all the other cars need to work as well.
And I think that's the big thing. A lot of these teams don't test with a lot of weight. In the midfield teams they don't, because they don't think they're going to have 75 kilos, but it just shows you how much effort and testing has gone into that CC. They've turned that round, and Jason must be the ringleader for that, because he's just reaping the benefits of that, isn't he?
Race 2, I was expecting every corner, every lap, Gordon Shedden to make the move, and it never came. What else can they squeeze out of that Honda, do you think?
I think there's a bit more to come. You know, I speak to some of the drivers. I remember speaking to Jack Goff at Brands Hatch, and he said that car looks good now with power when he's behind it, but he said the chassis isn't quite there. So for a driver to say that, you've got to believe it. And I do think that chassis is good, but it did look very nervous going into Lodge for Matt Neal. You know, bit of oversteer, and that costs you, you know, places on the track. So they've got a bit of tweaking to do, but I still think that Honda is going to push very, very hard. But Jason Plato, I mean, those wins with that ballast on, that is unbelievable.
So Croft is the next stop. It's another tricky circuit, isn't it?
It is, and it's another circuit that I'd like to say a BMW is going to do well at. But the BMs, they're struggling a bit. Sam Tordoff obviously won this last race, but tyre attrition is massive there. It's as bad as Thruxton. So, you know, when you've got tyre attrition like that, you've got to look at BMWs to wear their tyres well.
So the usual format with qualifying on ITV.com on the Saturday, and then full coverage live of the 3 races on Sunday, the 28th of June. We'll see you there.